Welcome to my channel. Let me see if I get you guys in. There we go. And welcome to my new subscribers. If you are new here, please consider subscribing below. This is just a little rambling on. You know, the other day I did have to, let's turn this on so I can see. Okay, so I did do an unboxing of this. I made a mistake. I did get it from Prettier Neat. And this here was like completely off. I just used thumbtacks as a temporary measure. I will use some kind of glue on it later. Oh, I need it better. Okay, what color do I need? I'm gonna need my 6. Anyways, I went out. I had no choice. I did wear a mask, folks. I did. Yeah. This is and because you know we're all supposed to stay home, and I was a little surprised, to tell you the truth, because yeah, the buses here in San Diego were like totally empty. I did try to film, and I ran out of batteries. Had to use my phone, and I just couldn't get it to upload, so I wasn't able to. What did I do with my pin? Oh well, for the sake of this, I'll just use this one. Upload, but like you, because I don't have a car, and the buses were like totally empty. The trolley station was totally empty. But as soon as I went to transfer downtown, it was a different story. The buses, I mean the businesses, I mean, I didn't see one place that was closed at all. The Adona shop in Chula Vista, they never had more than one employee there anyways. So thankfully she didn't lose her job. But of course I didn't see any people in there. Auto shops were completely open. So like I said, that was really surprising. I noticed that food, like Jack in the Box, you know, fast food places, they were still open. I was able to actually go in and you could sit there. The drive-thru was open. You go in. I ordered what I was just ordering a soda and takeout. So they did that. That's what they were doing. So I was a little surprised. I was watching, because I'm just rambling about a lot of subjects. Diabetes addictions video last night. And honestly, I really could, she gave a challenge of what you do like about yourself, what you don't like about yourself. Well, it really would be hard for me to do that challenge because, you know, everybody has their good points and their bad points. You know, good faults, whatever you want to call them. And they're a part of who you are. I am 63 years old. I am happy with who I am. My faults, everything, my good points, they make me who I am. Nobody is perfect. Nobody ever will be. That's just the way it is. You know, I'm stubborn. You cannot make me do anything that I don't want to do. It's just not happening. I am stubborn. Very stubborn. How can I say this other part? I'm not one when it comes to like crying. I don't show those emotions in front of people at all. I might cry in private, but never in front of me. And I think that's because in my family it was like they could show those emotions, but I really wasn't allowed to. I was criticized for that. To me, to be weak is a luxury. It really is. I would say I'm tough. I've never lost a fight. But at the same time, I'm not one. I've taught my kids this. Just because you're angry at someone, you just don't go and fight somebody because they did something or you didn't like. But if somebody hits you, lay them out. Where did was it's hard. I'm working in very bad lighting here. Yeah. So I've been kind of that stubbornness. Really, I was a wildcat when I was young. I did run the streets. I never went. I'd be asleep during the day, up at night. I was just more. How I was never killed, I don't know. I was just a wild person. And I survived. I don't regret anything in my life. I don't view looking back on life and say, oh, if I did this, if I did that, things would be different. Because it's a waste of time. It's done. It's over with. I'm only working on this when I do like Ripper chats. Stuff I just view now and what I could do at the present. Because there's just no point. If you keep looking back, it's, oh, you know, if I did this, if I did that, this would happen. You're just going to make yourself miserable. So I don't really, if I said that I had anything to regret in my life, it's I wasted my, I, I did get my high school diploma. Uh, would be that I'd gone to college. But I don't dwell on it because, especially at 63, you know, it's a little late for that kind of stuff. And there's just no point. Looking back up things, regret things, it just makes you miserable in my book. You know, I am who I am. I'm happy with the type of person I am. And that's, I don't look at things and say, oh, I wish this and this and that happened, because it's a waste of time. Is that a 6? Yeah, they are. You just make yourself miserable. So what would I dislike about myself? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because my faults, I don't want to change them. They are a part of who I am. I would not be me without them. Just like my good points, I would not be me. As far as trust, well, I gotta be honest. I'm not real good at trusting. I have found out a long time ago, you never tell anybody, let me get a sip here, anything that you, people, because, oh, excuse me, people like to gossip. Um, you know, you want to keep certain things to yourself, private. I don't like using that pen. Because people, if things happen, they do go back. So I just hold a rule. Never discuss something with somebody that you absolutely don't want to get out. I guess this would be a fault. I mean, I look at people ulterior motives a lot. I do believe in self-preservation. believe in looking at the only people I put above myself, I would say, would be my children. Oh, come on. So on the trust matter, I trust people so far. You know, I hold certain words. If somebody wanted to borrow money, I'm not going to loan it to them. Because you never know if you may trust that person, but you don't know what happened. What happened? Something happened, they can't pay it back. You know, I learned the hard way about that. Although I have to say, because when I've loaned people money, it's generally I have not been paid back. You know, never. So I, if I hadn't loaned this guy money, I wouldn't have met my late husband. Am I going to do a video on that? I hinted on it in a previous video when I talked about being homeless. I haven't talked about too much because what happened, because it does involve the VA and a lot of wrong that they did. Actually, I did do a video after it happened at YouTube channel I used to have, but lost the password to, so I had to make a new one. And I don't know what. Or maybe I will tell you. We met while I was homeless. We did get married, and I lost him 6 weeks later. He had terminal cancer. The treatment, because he did VA, I hate VA hospital. I hate them with a passion. And he just assisted on VA care. They wanted to try him on some medicine, use him as a guinea pig. Also, it was designed to shrink him to give a person more chance of a longer life, not to get him, it wasn't going to cure him. Problem was, it was making him too sick. So when he went back to an appointment, he said he didn't want it anymore. He wanted chemo. And the fight was on because they were trying to tell him, no, you can't. When they did that, I just went totally off. Totally. And the doctor threatened not to treat him, in which case I told him, I just looked at him and I says, oh, so you're going to do illegal abandonment, right? They looked at me and I says, yeah, I know about abandonment. You can't just abandon his care. You know, if you don't want to treat him, you got to find another doctor. And he has a right to decide what treatment he will or will not take. And it was so bad that she stormed out, the doctor stormed out, came back with the head doctor, and me and her went around. And she argued, well, you know, because he decided we could try. I made a mistake and I compromised with them, that they would lower the dosage, and in a month, of course, he didn't survive that month, but in a month they would lower it. Okay. The problem I had with VA trying to get hold of them was a hold on, folks. The boyfriend, he don't know how to close the damn door. There, sorry. To get hold of him, it would take me an hour on the phone. The social worker, yeah, right. Wouldn't answer my wouldn't answer phone calls or nothing. And at one point, I had to take him into the emergency room at VA because he was in a lot of pain, and they decided to give him morphine. Had they told my husband that, because I took an alert husband in, came out with a confused one. We did not realize that morphine can actually cause confusion. Well, folks, it can. I will not take it ever. And they gave it to him knowing they shouldn't have gave it to him. Especially when there was other medication they could have gave him for pain. The next morning, and I hadn't given him any more after we left there, he was still confused as Timbuktu. Okay? I mean, he was senile at that point. Trying to call him, not getting any answer. They did not even notify his doctor. The problem with VA for cancer patients, at least here in San Diego area, they're only there twice a week for 4 hours for all the patients. So it was like when we took him in, they were in there for less than a minute, and then they were out the door. She had no idea what was going on. She was not notified by the hospital. Yeah, it was bad. This is where I really went off. The last time that I took him to the hospital, trying to get him out of the vehicle, he falls on the parking lot. Now it turns out, mind you, he's literally dying on their parking lot. I actually, right at the hospital parking lot, they've got workers going by who I'm hollering to, who just look and keep walking. So I call 911, and she says, if you're in the parking lot, how come you just don't call them? I says, because it could take me an hour. Their workers going by, they're just ignoring me. She gets hold of them. The 911 operator really, really got pissed. They didn't even want to come out to help me. It took the 911 operator to yelling at him, telling him, well, I don't think she'd be calling from 911 from your parking lot unless it's an emergency. Okay. They finally come out there to help me. We get into the emergency room, and the doctor makes a confession that he should have never gave him the medication that he gave the last time, that it actually made his cancer worse. It made him worse. That it made him senile, and he would never become. I came on totally unglued. Totally unglued. There's my poor husband saying, VA failed me, VA failed me, VA failed me. I cussed that doctor out from one end to the other. He went running out of the room, leaving the nurses. I said, you call another hospital. You guys aren't treating him. Well, he was in condition. They finally convinced me to let him to be admitted. And the problem I had is decubitus ulcers, commonly known as bed sores. There's no excuse for them. Absolutely none. Um, it is caused by pressure. It, a patient laying who can't move around during their sleep, laid on one side, and the first signs of it is the redness. Have you ever put your crossed your legs or something? I mean, you crossed them, and there's a little red mark. That is the first stage. That's nothing. It goes away, and then the skin start breaking. I went totally off. I had to stand guard over him to get the care done. I went to all his doctor's appointments, all everything. I would go there in the morning till late at night. Then I'd have to leave because of the bus system. I was actually the day he died. I'll give you an abbreviated story. If you're all interested, I can go into more elaborate. But I left that morning so I could go get cleaned up, change clothes, what have you. I was actually on the trolley station when I got the phone call that he passed. And that's not off. His eyes had pinned in there, and I knew he wasn't going to survive more there. But a lot of times patients will do two things. They'll hang on until a loved one or somebody gives them permission to go. A lot of times they'll wait till their loved one is not in the room, and apparently that's what he did. I just dropped the phone. I was hysterical. I did not take his death well. I immediately returned because I told him don't move his body. I tell you, they had to drag me and pull me off his body. I took his death hard. His daughter was not there that day. We actually didn't meet till he was in the hospital because he wouldn't let me. We never met. Formerly, anyways. But I did call her. He finally gave me permission. I tried to leave her alone, go out and have a cigarette while he was in the hospital. But she didn't want me to because they had some problems. And I'm not going to get into that because that's just what he wouldn't want me to. I'm grateful for her because VA, when you pass, they will pay for the cremation, but apparently you got to pay for it and they'll reimburse you. Well, I didn't have it. His daughter did. She took care of all that. She told me, says, because she was utterly amazed with me, he happened to fight with the doctors. And she says, I'll make up. She made all the arrangements basically. When I told her he was going to pass, she did not come to the hospital. And before anybody goes judging her, I understand why. You have to understand, she found her mother dead at the age of 7. She couldn't deal with death. I knew she wouldn't be at the funeral. At the funeral, I was a little upset because here there were people who knew him for like 20 years, never showed up. My husband had to have his service with just my family there. None of his friends would come up, and there was no excuse. I told him, I will give you the gas money to come up for the funeral. There was absolutely no excuse whatsoever. for a long time I didn't eat. I just didn't. I would go to a fast food place, order a hamburger, take a bite, and I just couldn't eat. I literally had to, and I was losing weight. The reason you see me pausing, it's hard to talk about it. It does send me into tears. They thought I was going to be mild. Widow, they found out different. I made a promise to him that I would go after VA, and after I did. I actually got 86 from messaging for like Facebook jail for 6 months because Obama was in office at the time. I had messaged Obama. Okay? So they did. So then I called them. I tried to call the media and they wanted me to get it's like they were afraid of the VA. And the one who did, as soon as he found out how old my husband, our ages and stuff, lost interest. I guess if you're over a certain age, it's okay if they cause you to die. Because the bottom line is, yeah, my husband was going to pass, but he died sooner than he actually had to. So I ended up calling the White House. Now, I didn't really think I was going to get hold of the president, but I called the White House. Told them my story. They actually gave me the phone number to call. When I called that number, this is what the guy told me. That they got so many complaints about the VA system that they cannot investigate all of them. They have to pick and choose. He says, after what you told me, your case we are. And they all did get in some trouble because 5 or 6 years later, my friend's husband, who was a VA patient, had got cancer, and I went with her. I saw the very same people that I had filed complaints on, including the social worker. And when I seen her, I looked at her and I says, I guess you don't remember me. And her answer says, oh, we all remember you. And we went to leave, and I was helping Cookie, my friend, who was in a wheelchair, get into the car. The emergency room doctor who admitted to me he messed up, he's out there and he's on his phone. And he's looking over at me. And I yelled out, yeah, it's me. So, yeah, they still do. My present boyfriend, who insists on being a VA, when he went up there, he told him, says, oh, yeah, my girlfriend, husband died here, I told him. And he heard them whispering and say, do you remember that girl there? That's her present boyfriend. And they were all over him being helpful. It's stuff. Why? Because they didn't want him to have to deal with me, I guess. I still try to talk him out of it. I don't trust him. They should be closed. Also, I went to stand down. And there was actually, I can't remember who the congressman was, but he was there. Let me tell you something. He did not leave without talking to me. When I found out he was there, I sought him out. I stopped him. I gave him my name. I gave him my husband's name. I told him my story in much more detail. There, and I never will. So, you know, I felt I did, because I told him I didn't know if I could do anything to the VA, and I really couldn't. I just kind of give them a hassle. But apparently it was good enough that they still remember me, what, 6, 7 years now? They still remember me. They still remember me. And they always will. So that's the abbreviated story, and the reason why I didn't get into a lot of stuff that occurred during his illness, it is very painful. You know, I just kind of abbreviated everything. You know, the VA did do a lot of wrong. There's no excuse for decubitus ulcers. I did make a promise to him that he would never go into a nursing home. I did keep that promise to him. Because as far as I'm concerned, a nursing home is just it's no better than a jail. It's a jail. I'm sorry. A nursing home is a jail for the elderly sick. If you all are interested in me doing video on nursing homes, like the inside of a nursing home, that when you're not there, on how to pick a nursing home, alternatives to nursing homes, comment below. Just comment below, and what I can do is make a video and tell you what it's like for patients in a nursing home on the aspect of from the inside, because I was a CNA. I've worked nursing homes for, what, 40 years? That's where I retired from. I miss it. But, you know, what to look for in a nursing home, that type of thing, just comment below and I will make a video on it. Anyways, that is all for today. Happy diamond painting, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.